There is something deeply misunderstood about loyalty, especially when it comes from a man who gives his all, who stands by your side no matter what, who chooses you every single day even when the world is against you. A truly loyal man is not just someone who stays because it's easy, because it's convenient, or because he has no better options. No, a loyal man is rare. He is someone who makes a conscious decision to invest in you, to protect you, to be there in ways that most people never will. And he doesn't do it for validation, for recognition, or because he expects something in return. He does it because loyalty is part of his character. A loyal man doesn't just show up when it's easy, he shows up when it's hard. He doesn't just promise to be there, he proves it through his actions. When a loyal man commits, he is all in. He puts his heart into it, his time, his energy, his patience. He makes sacrifices you don't even see. He carries burdens without ever complaining. And he does it because he believes in standing by the people he loves. He believes in you. But here's the thing about loyalty, it is both a man's greatest strength and his deepest vulnerability. Because when a man is truly loyal, he doesn't just commit to you on the surface. He commits with his heart, his mind, and his soul. He trusts deeply, he forgives easily, he gives endlessly. And when a man like that is betrayed, when his loyalty is taken for granted, when his faith in someone is shattered, everything changes. A loyal man doesn't break easily. He is built for endurance, built to withstand hardships, built to weather storms. But the moment you hurt him in a way that shatters his trust, the moment you make him question whether his loyalty was misplaced, something inside of him switches. It's not anger, it's not revenge, it's something deeper, something irreversible. Because a loyal man will fight for you. He will try to understand, try to forgive, try to make things work. He will give you chances even when he shouldn't. He will rationalize the hurt, hoping that it was just a mistake, hoping that things can still be fixed. But once he realizes that he was giving his loyalty to someone who never truly valued it, he won't argue. He won't beg, he won't chase. He will simply walk away. And that is where the psychological shift happens. Because when a loyal walks away, he doesn't just leave physically, he detaches emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. He removes himself completely, and the most painful part, he does it in silence. At first you won't notice the change. He will still be present, still polite, still calm. But there will be a distance, a quiet withdrawal that you can't quite put your finger on. He will stop arguing. He will stop explaining. He will stop showing any emotion at all. And then one day you'll wake up and realize he's gone and he's never coming back. Because when a man who was once deeply invested in you finally reaches his breaking point, there is no conversation that will fix it, no apology that will make it right, no amount of effort that will undo the damage. Not because he's holding a grudge, not because he's trying to punish you, but because he's simply done. And that's what most people don't understand about men who are truly loyal. They don't love in half measures. They don't commit with conditions. When they are with you, they are all in. But the moment they realize their loyalty was taken for granted, they don't fight for closure. They don't seek revenge. They just disappear. And that is why losing a loyal man is a different kind of loss. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's not something that can be undone with a few words. It's final. And here's what happens after he leaves. He changes. He no longer trusts as easily. He no longer gives his heart so freely. He becomes more guarded, more selective, more cautious with his love. He builds walls where there were once open doors, not because he wants to, but because he has learned a painful lesson that not everyone deserves his loyalty. That not everyone values what he gives. That sometimes the people he would have done anything for wouldn't do the same for him. And the most tragic part, he won't even hate you. He won't speak badly about you. He won't waste energy resenting what happened. He will simply move on, and he will become a version of himself that no longer believes in love the way he once did. And that is what people never realize until it's too late. Because once a loyal man changes, once he closes off the part of himself that once gave so freely, he's not coming back. Not to you, not to the way he used to be, not to the world that convinced him that loyalty was a weakness rather than a strength. And that will be the biggest regret of your life. Because at first, you'll think you're fine. You'll convince yourself that losing him wasn't a big deal, that life will go on as usual. You'll go out, you'll distract yourself, you'll meet new people. But as time passes, as the silence grows louder, as the reality of his absence starts to sink in, you will begin to realize exactly what you lost. You will remember the way he showed up when no one else did, the way he protected you, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually. The way he supported you even in your worst moments, the way he saw you for who you really were and still chose to love you. You will remember the depth of his loyalty, his patience, his understanding, and you will come to a painful conclusion. You will never find another man like him again. And that is when regret will set in. You will want to reach out, you will want to call, to text, to see if there's any way to fix things. But by then he will be gone. Not because he hates you, not because he wants to hurt you, but because he has nothing left to give. You see, a loyal man is rare. He is a gift. And once you lose him, you don't just lose a relationship, you lose someone who would have stood by your side through anything. You lose someone who was willing to fight for you, someone who was willing to be there through the ups and downs, someone who saw the best in you, even when you couldn't see it yourself. And no matter how much time passes, no matter who you meet, you will always remember him. You will always wonder what could have been. You will always think about what life would have looked like if you had just valued his loyalty when you had the chance. But by then, he will have moved on. He will have become stronger, wiser, more selective. And while you are sitting in regret, wondering if he still thinks about you, wondering if he would ever come back, he will be giving his loyalty to someone who truly deserves it. And that will be the moment you realize that losing him was the greatest mistake of your life.